Hey, Howard here at 82 Maple. And as much as I'm going to focus in on our latest RV purchase, which is an Adventurer model 89 RBS, this is really about some pros and cons and some things to look for when buying a pickup bed camper, whether new or whether used.
Well, here we are, and this is the beginning of the next 1,000 weeks of my life. What a way to get it started here. Here we are at up on the Coquihalla. It's the first day of April, and wow, look at this. Hey, spring is clearly here. Here's to the unpredictability of life and adventure. Man, who would have guessed? Hey, so here's what this stormy little trip is all about. We're picking up a new, to us, camper. The Lance 1172, which served us wonderfully for, 9 years this month. 10 years this month. Hey, there we go. Has a new home, and we're trying something new. What's happened is we ordered another camper. That's a surprise for another video, but it's been delayed. What isn't delayed these days? Wow. But the dealer made us an offer that we can't refuse. So for the next few months, we're going to be borrowing a camper from the dealership, and it's a different one for us. So you're going to have to come along on a little bit of a tour. Let me give you one clue. We've never had an RV yet with a wet bathroom. And this one has the wet bathroom. It's going to be fun. New experience, new adventure.
Hey, so many positives about this wonderful little adventurer camper. So here's one of the first cons that we noticed. After having taken delivery of this unit, we pulled into my son's place, and the first thing I want to do is fill up that fresh water tank. I'm 5'9". Whoa! My wife, Coral, is 5 feet. She can't reach this. Need a step stool. One more thing, I'm used to every RV I think I've ever owned. Not that I've owned a lot. I think it's 6, 7 in total. Has had a lock on the freshwater inlet. I know, it's a little Mickey Mouse plastic door. A screwdriver would pop it open. But I'm used to having one basic level of security for the freshwater inlet. This has none. This is it, the cap. And I don't know, it's just a personal comfort thing. I know it's a little thing. Moving on. Okay, con number 2. Here's my biggest reservation about ever buying a rear entry camper, and that is this right here. How do you get in and out with ease? And a horse trailer is typically very low in terms of hitch and reach, and so this is a best case scenario. This comes right down on my extender, but if it didn't come down on the extender, it would come down on this. And again, this is a best case scenario. We have a cargo trailer, we have a flat deck trailer, we have a motorsports trailer, and all of them, the hitch would be sitting up at about this level. And so we can't even put the step down without unhitching. And so that's why the first camper we had was a Lance 1172, which had a side entry door over here. The Arctic Fox, if you look at their rear entry models, they run the step off over here so that there's no issue around this. And this to me is inexcusable. And what I would do if I was keeping this camper long term is I would probably go through the pains of notching this step. I'd come up with something creative here. Okay, here's something I really enjoy and appreciate about any camper with a side slide. Look at this. I can come and go without having to move the slide one little bit. We're on a long trip. Hey, I'm old. I go to the bathroom a little more frequently than I used to. We pull over in a rest area, and I can just come right in. Thanks to the sliding door here, I have full instant access to the bathroom. And you know what? Equally importantly, I have access to the fridge. That's super important. While I'm in this area, one more neat little feature that Coral just noticed. So recognize we've only had this on the back of the truck for 2 hours. Nice little cubby in here. And Coral and I love going out for a ride in our truck and camper and just stopping where there's a little hiking trail and taking and walking up to the waterfalls or whatever. Can throw our day packs right in there, yank them out quickly, you swing the door open, boom, instant access for quick access storage. Okay, one more interesting little thing. Notice how we're at 4.5 inches back from the lip of the truck bed. So we haven't unloaded this yet for the first time, but I just wanted to pick up on this because it has to do with another con. We put some extra blocking in up front. Now look at down here. We've got about 2 inches right there between the pipe and my bumper. During the loading procedure on this, we just about cleared out the entire sewer drain pipe. It's awkwardly located. It's kind of strung up there in a Mickey Mouse way. I don't know if the previous owner had to do something, but wow, that's the factory installed spot. And the bumper on my F350, if I moved this up to where it should be positioned in the bed, would have taken that right off. And boy, that would be a mess, wouldn't it? So that's just not well thought out at all. Okay, so we've got the unit offloaded and just got to show you something here. What genius designed this? The battery box up front, the unit has to be off the camper in order to get at or service the batteries. I'm not going to get into a whole bunch of storytelling, but I've run into a couple of situations where I needed to boost the batteries for the unit. That can happen if you have a generator on board. This particular unit doesn't. But there are other situations that, you know what, just to hook up a battery adds a lot of convenience, and you'd have to take the unit right off the camper in order to do that. It certainly would not be my preference to have the batteries located there. And speaking of taking the unit off, this is equipped with the Happy Jacks. So this is manual. There's a little manual crank that goes in there. There's 2 cranks, and wow, that was a little bit of a process to load up the unit. If you're going to go with non-battery powered jacks, and there's lots of positives around that, hey, have a heavy duty driver of battery powered driver of some sort. You're going to be a lot happier with the Happy Jacks, and I know a lot of you that have the Happy Jacks do indeed have that additional driver. So why don't we get with the program here and go right on inside. It's a nice little unit. I've got it under cover here on a stand that you'll have seen in other videos. And we're set up. This is where it's going to reside for the next month or so before our RV season officially gets underway for us. And let's poke our head inside here. So I was concerned moving from the Lance 1172 down to this size because we went from a 4-foot overhang off the bed of the truck to 1. And hey, I got to tell you, it drives a lot nicer. And we were really impressed with the spaciousness of this little unit. Like lots of bed, lots of closet area. They did an amazingly efficient job of cupboard space and allowing us to get this, that, and the other in there. Hey, we're just leaving it like we live in it. So this is us, this is set up, and we're good to go. Some great drawer space, a drawer under the dinette,
And yeah, this is us at work. I'm headed out to a business meeting, so I've got some clothes to change into right after I'm done with this little shoot. But super comfy, and the fridge, a really good size, all the stuff that you'd expect. And a couple of things that we were particularly impressed with. Look at that sink. That is awesome. There are units, well, our Lance 1172 being one of them, that didn't have as nice a sink and fixturing. The controls mounted in a convenient spot. Again, whether you're buying new or used, those are all things that are important from a creature comfort perspective. You know what? First wet bath ever, and it works. All of the towels, everything, just toss right out onto the dinette seat behind me, and quick and easy cleanup. Some good storage space for all sorts of the stuff that one needs in a bathroom throughout the day. And yes, fixture or door closings are the bane, I think, of the RV industry, and clearly the previous owner had run into some issues. So, yep, that comes right off, but it will hang in there when latched over to the other side here, and keep that from spilling its contents onto the floor during travel. Those are the little things one wants to watch for. Not a pleasant surprise when that happens. Look at that, a real toilet, not some cheap one like we're so used to in RVs. One little downside around that, I'm 5'9", my toes barely touch the floor. Coral's 5'1". She wanted me to say that because somewhere else in this video I refer to her as being 5 feet, and hey, her toes can't touch the floor there. A couple of other little suggestions. We could use a little more counter space. If I was keeping this unit beyond the next 3 or 4 months, I would build a little shelf platform out here that just is a flip up. The other thing, it's a full, oh wow, I forget what it was. It's something like 40 inches from down here to up here. It's enough one has to jump, and it would be so easy to put a little flip down step right here. It can't be the step can't be left out when the slides are coming in, but a little flip down step there. Minor details. You can also have one of those little portable folding stools or something, and that would work. And the overall height, I find myself just bumping my head. Again, I'm 5'9", so it's not a big deal, but going in and out of there, and even going in and out of the washroom. Hey, if you're 6 feet tall or more, you're gonna have a head scrape every once in a while. But again, so many positives, and yeah, it's an adventure. As always, hope this has been helpful. But again, more than this being about the 2018 Adventurer with the single slide, it's pros and cons to watch out for, to look for when buying a new or used pickup bed camper. Clearly, this one's turning out as being a reasonable purchase. By the way, the dealer that has the RV unit on order sold us this unit with a letter on the side guaranteeing a price to take it back in at, which means this little unit is costing very little. Can't say enough about that dealer. They made it work. They made good, even though the delay is far beyond their control. Here's to the great RV dealers that are out there. I'm sure for everyone you as an audience have had an issue with, there's a bunch of really good ones, and we ended up with a really good one. Here's to you.